Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Yoga for Everybody session today. My name is Skyla Ramirez. Let's get started with some mindful breathing this morning. You can either lie down on your back with your knees bent or stay seated upright. Now, in cases where maybe you're feeling pain in your low back, I will recommend that you lie down or have a seat in your chair. Let's start with some three-part breathing this morning to gain access to as much breath in the body as possible. So if you're seated, maybe scoot away from the back of the chair, or if you're on the floor, elevate the hips a little bit. And again, if you are lying down, bend your knees. This is going to help to take tension off of the breathing muscles and the muscles in your abdomen. Let's place one hand on the heart and one hand down on your belly. And as you inhale, breathe down into the belly, let that breath build through the ribs, and then lift it up into your heart and chest. Hold that breath for maybe just 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. And when you're ready, exhale. Exhale as if you're going to follow the mirror. So let's just work on the inhale for now in 3 parts. Inhale in through the nose as much as possible, breathing into the belly, ribs, heart. Pause, hold that breath. 3, 2, 1. Now exhale like you're fogging a mirror. Maybe close the eyes when you do this. Feel for the breath. And as you feel the breath, allow those sensations to paint a picture in the mind of the breath in the body, noticing what is the breath doing in the body. Still keeping those small pauses only after the inhale. But at any time, if the pause feels uncomfortable, you could always go to seamless breathing. So you don't have to pause or hold your breath at all. Inhaling belly, ribs, heart. Exhale with that ha breath. Now let's maybe control the exhale in 3 parts as well. We're inhaling belly, ribs, heart. Pause, and in these 3 seconds, know that you're going to exhale heart, ribs, and belly. So you fill from the bottom up and empty from the top down. Exhale heart, ribs, empty your belly. Inhaling belly, ribs, heart. Pause. 3, 2, 1. And then exhale heart, ribs, belly. Let's try that one more time. Inhaling belly, ribs, heart. Exhale heart, ribs, belly. Now just breathe easy. And if you're seated, let your hands come down beside you. Maybe if you're lying down, you can put the hands on your stomach to relax the shoulders. Start to let the breath stay as low as possible in the body. So unless otherwise instructed in a specific pose, we're going to keep that breath maybe in the lower 2/3 of the lungs, maintaining as much stillness in the chest and heart space as possible. Sometimes we do exaggerate the breath in the heart in an effort to maybe stretch the chest or to shift specific energies. But for the most part, we don't want to keep the breath in the chest because over a long period of time, that can cause some pain in the shoulders, pain in the jaw. It can cause muscles to tense just a little too much when you do it too much. So keep that breath low in your body. Breathe into the belly, just up to the belly button. And then exhale, relax the belly button and then that lower abdomen and hip area. Let's try this just maybe 3 to 5 more times. Easy does it. Encouraging that breath to stay low in the body. We may have to mindfully restrict the breath from moving up into the heart space, and that's okay. Over time, with this mindful practice, the breath will naturally remember where it's supposed to be, low in the body, and the breath will naturally stay there without us having to control it. For those of us who may be seated, let's go ahead and take our time and come down onto the floor, finding ourselves in a supine position. And supine is just a fancy word we use in our fitness classes to say, lie down on your back. Lying down on our back, supine, knees are bent. From here, let's take our arms up, reach overhead. Let's work a nice stretch in through the armpits and around the sides of the ribs, any places that maybe the breath couldn't touch. So the breath stretches for us, places inside the body. Now we're going to work a little more stretching the outsides or the more superficial places. Reach with your fingertips to open the side ribs, to open under the armpits. From here, slowly lower the hands down. Let's press the palms into the floor for a moment. Let's lift up our left knee. Go ahead and extend that leg up and roll out your ankle. Let's bring the knee in towards the chest. Keep a pointed toe, and now press that leg out at about 45 degrees. Bring the knee in again. Easy does it. Let's add the breath to that. Inhale, press that foot out, 45 degrees. Exhale, bring the knee in. Pull that thigh into the lower abdomen. Inhale, extend the leg. Exhale, pull the knee in. One more. Inhale, extend. And exhale in. Let's lower that foot down, bringing the right knee up and in, pointing the toe, extending the leg straight up, and now roll out that ankle. Let's point the toe, bend the knee in again, keeping that toe pointed. Let's extend the leg out about 45 degrees. So this 45-degree stretch is going to require a little more hip strength, a little more core and back strength. Pull the knee in, draw the thigh close to your stomach. Exhale from the throat. Inhale, extend the leg. Exhale, pull it in. Maybe just 2 or 3 more. Inhale, extend. Exhale, pull it in. Just one more, extending with a pointed toe, easy does it. And then exhale, bring it in. Let's bend both knees into the chest. See that the knees are at the width of the pelvis bones and the feet are at that same width as well. One of the most common issues with our bodies is that, especially for women, our toes will turn in while our knees go out. When this happens, it means that we don't have as many muscles engaged in the pelvic floor as we could. As soon as we turn the toes out, you'll see the knees coming in when you have that knee to foot or knee to ankle and toe alignment. There are more muscles engaged in the pelvis to support the bladder and the low back and spine. Keeping those feet and knees at hips width, lower the feet, feet at hip width. Let's press down into the floor. Inhale, lift the hips into bridge. Exhale, lower the hips. Repeating that process, one movement, one breath. Inhale, rising up through those hips. Exhale, lower. Matching the breath to the movement. Inhale into the nose and exhale from the throat. Inhale in with the nose. Exhale from the throat. Maybe 2 or 3 more. Now notice if you ever feel rushed by your breath. It is possible to have a shallow breath and to feel rushed. In that case, don't follow the breath. Just move when it feels right for you. From here, let's rest with the hips down on the floor. Let's put a few of these movements together. Extend the arms overhead. On the next inhale, press the hands down and lift the hips. Big breath in. Exhale, let the hips come down and the arms go overhead. Inhale, pull the hips up away from the floor. Press the hands down to maybe get a little more support from the shoulders and spine. Exhale, lower the hips and bring the arms overhead. Inhale, hips come up, hands come down. Exhale, hips down. Option to close the eyes, tune into the sensations that accompany every bit of movement. Just one more. Inhale, hips up. Exhale, hips down. Let's bring those hands out like a T and press the palms down into the floor for support. Now let's take the feet out wide, maybe as wide as your yoga mat or even wider. On the next exhale, let's let the knees twist halfway over to the left, just halfway. So your right hip may or may not peel off the floor here. Let's inhale to center. Exhale, knees twist halfway to the right. Hold it there. Breathe easy. Notice that your left hip may or may not come off the floor a little bit. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist halfway to the left. Just introducing the stretch to the spine. Inhale, center. Exhale, halfway to the right. Now maybe make that twist a little deeper, but know that you don't have to. Twisting poses are very powerful all on their own. Exhale, maybe it's a little deeper twist. Maybe that left knee touches the floor. And you can even push into your right foot to thrust or to slightly open that right hip up a little more. Inhale through center. Exhale, twist to the right. Maybe that right knee touches the floor. Maybe we push into the left foot, which is going to give us a little more of a lift. You can even squeeze the left glute muscle. And as we squeeze through the left buttocks region, it'll open that hip a little more. Come through center. Exhale, twist to the left. Definitely don't want to rush that twist. The body may be forced into too quick of a movement if you move really fast, and it can really hurt the spine. Exhale, twist to the right. Slowing down the breath. One more time to each side. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Let's bring our knees to center. Keeping the feet wide, draw the knees to the chest. Wrap the hands around the sides or backs of the thighs. Flex the feet. And now push straight up to the ceiling. Supine straddle position. Now, if you're feeling a little adventurous today with this stretch, you're welcome to let the hands go. Maybe pull the tailbone up a little bit. Maybe reach for your toes. You can always keep a bend in the knees, so it's like a really wide, exaggerated, happy baby pose as well. We're just trying to get a nice big stretch in the upper hip and groin area. This helps with any sort of lymphatic drainage that might be stuck in the lower body. When our body is ready, slowly bring those legs in. Let's let go of the feet, lower the knees and feet. Go ahead and roll over onto one side. And we're going to lie there for at least 3 to 5 breaths so that we can open up the middle back and the sides of the spine. Breathe down into your low back, through your side waist, up to the space underneath your shoulder blades and heart. Exhale, relax the heart, the ribs, and the low back. Maybe just 2 or 3 more like this. Inhale, low back, middle ribs, under the shoulder blades. Exhale, relax the shoulders, the ribs, and the low back. Let's use our top hand or top arm down in front of the body to support us, pressing into that top hand. to slowly come around into all fours or a seated position for our cat and cow flow. For cat and cow flow, we're looking at our shoulders and arms to see that we have a straight line from the shoulder to the elbow to the wrist, or come down to your elbow, shoulder to elbow. Our knees are under the hip joint, and we can all take a look at our feet here. So just like we talked about before, what's really common is for the toes to come in with the knees out. And that means we don't have as many muscles in the thighs activated. So separate the feet. The feet are at the same width as the knees. Let's drop our belly, flip the hips back and look forward. Inhale here, cow pose. Big breath in. Exhale from your throat, pull the navel up. Contract the belly for cat. Inhaling into cow. Exhaling to cat. Inhale, cow. Pause at the top of the breath. Pull the muscles up in the pelvis. Exhale, keeping the muscles lifted in the pelvic floor. Inhaling into cow. Exhaling into cat. Maybe just 2 or 3 more, and slow it down at any time so that our bodies can tune into any tiny subtle sensations. When we move fast, we might miss out on some sensations, on some places that need a little more stretch. Remember, you can pause at any time. Let's find all fours position. From all fours, lifting the right hand up, opening the chest. Big inhale. And now set that hand down. Switching over to the left. Inhale, lift up the left hand. Look over your left shoulder. Exhale, bring it down. Repeating that a few more times. So we're isolating that twist in the upper spine, in the shoulders, strengthening the muscles behind the heart, keeping the low back and hips stable. We have a foundation that encourages a healthy upper spine twist. Just one more on each side. After you do it on each side, you feel that it's evened up on each side. Let's take our knees out wide and touch the toes together. Wide kneed child's pose. Pressing our hips back, letting the belly move between the thighs. Walk the hands out in front of the body and rest your head. You can always keep the head lifted. You can always keep your hips lifted up away from the heels or away from the knees. This could be healthier for your kneecaps. Try at least 3 long exhales here. And it might be that breathy exhale with that sensation. It could be really audible, or it could be really quiet as well. So just practice long exhales. When your body is ready, shift forward. Let's bring the knees into the width of the hips, creating that firm foundation for our transition to stand. When you're ready, let one leg come forward. We're in a kneeling lunge, and we're not staying on that knee long. Let's tuck our back toes so that we can shift forward, push into that supporting leg, and find yourself maybe at the halfway point. We don't want to come up too fast. Sometimes that can irritate our blood pressure. Keeping that flat back, we'll walk the hands up to the hips and then eventually bring ourselves up into standing. Let's open our feet up to the width of just the pelvis bones as we transition into our flowing peaceful warrior. Hands come to the heart. Take your left foot back. Inhale, open the hands, palms up. Pull those elbows behind you and lift the heart. Exhale, step forward, feet at the width of the pelvis. Inhale, right foot back. Keep a little bend in that left knee. Exhale, forward. Inhaling, left foot back. Little bend in the left knee. Pull up through the ribs and the heart. Open the throat. Exhale, forward. Right foot back, inhale. And exhale, forward. One more on each side. Maybe try closing the eyes. Maybe the movement isn't as big. Maybe it's a little slower. It's okay for us to slow down. In fact, the body appreciates us slowing down. Once we feel it's even on both sides, let's meet in that firm foundation position, feet at the width of the pelvis bones. Relax the hands down. Lower the head enough so that an egg could roll off your head. Roll those shoulders back, keeping the chest open, and reach down towards the edges of your feet. Maybe close the eyes, try pulling up your kneecaps, shift forward and back a little bit. Find that sweet spot where the energy is centered in the foot. Roll to the outer edges of the feet. Maybe peel up the inner blades. Press to the inner part of the foot. Lift up the outer edge just a tiny bit. And now find that sweet spot between the inner and outer edges of the feet to center your energy. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead, reach towards the sky, and look up towards the fingertips, extended mountain, Utthita Tadasana. Holding it here, we may want to stay reaching, we may want to look up. We could always drop the head and look straight ahead. Shift forward and start to slowly lift the heels, just enough first to swipe a credit card under your feet, maybe a little higher, waiting until the body feels fairly sure of itself. If you're super wobbly, if you're noticing that your body is really shaky, hover low. Let's give the body time to adapt to the movement. One more big inhale. Drop the heels. Exhale, swan dive only a fourth of the way down. Keeping a flat back, we're reaching the arms to the side. And now take those hands back so you're reaching past your hips. You're creating a superhero cape with your arms to strengthen the sides of the spine. Continue to lengthen out through the heart and ribs. Keep a little bend in the knees. Unhinge the hips. Push the hips back as if you're exaggerating the spread through the hips. Inhale in place. Exhale, come down a little more. So maybe we're down more, a third of the way, not quite halfway yet. Inhale here. And now maybe down halfway. So that halfway point is a big transition point, especially when it comes to parts of the muscles that may want to take over the movement. There are muscles that want you to just drop down right now, and you're fighting that. We're challenging the body to resist that urge to completely fall forward. We're strengthening the low back. Imagine a yoga block between the knees that you're squeezing. Pull up the kneecaps, pull up the pelvis, act surprised. Inhale in place. And now exhale, relax. Hands to the thighs. Relaxing the upper back, the head, the whole spine. Shake your head yes. And turn it left and right. When you're ready, walk the hands up to the thighs, up to the hips. Pause, flat back. Just like we practiced in the warm-up. We want to come up slow so our blood pressure is happy. Inhale, standing tall. Rolling the shoulders back. Let's do that a couple more times, and we might speed it up a little bit to strengthen the back. Inhale, arms overhead. Option to look up, straight ahead, or maybe look down a little bit if that feels better on the neck and shoulders. Pull up the kneecaps, shift forward, and lift the heels just a little bit. Inhale, pull up from the armpits. Exhale, drop the heels, come forward about a quarter of the way. Inhale in place. Come forward a little more, maybe a third. One more. Inhale, down halfway, strengthening the back, deepen the bend in the knees, and push the tailbone behind you. Exhale, relax everything. Hands to your thighs or shins, maybe straightening the legs, shaking out the head and neck. Let's bend the knees, draw the hands up to the thighs, slowly, flat back. Draw the hands to the hips, and now push into the feet to stand. One more time through that sequence. Palms open, shoulders back. Inhaling, arms overhead. Position the head and neck. Maybe close the eyes. Let those sensations that your body's revealing tell you where to go next. You don't have to lift your heels, but maybe your body is curious. Inhale, reach through the fingertips, reach from the armpits. Exhale, a third of the way down. Inhale, exhale halfway. Inhale, exhale all the way down. Support the spine, hands on any part of the leg or even to the floor. Inhale, halfway up, hands to the thighs, flat back. Arms go out like a T. Transition. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Exhale, hands to the heart. Holding the hands at the heart, let's step our left foot back. Bending the right knee. Warrior One foundation. Reaching both arms straight up overhead, refining that mighty Warrior One expression. Close the eyes, press back into the outer part of your left foot. Push back into the left heel. Notice the right foot as we lunge forward. Feel the energy balanced on both the inner and outer edge of the foot. Draw the shoulders back directly in alignment with your hips. Inhale, circle the arms back. Let the hands rest at your low back, either lacing the fingers or letting those hands rest low. You might just barely touch the fingers or wrist behind you. Let's straighten our right leg. 3 chest expansions, 3 big inhales into the heart. Big breath in. Exhale, relax a little. Inhale, back bend. Chest expansion. Exhale, relax. One more, big breath in. Exhale, relax. Inhale, arms overhead. Little bend in that right knee. Exhale, swan dive, both hands to the right leg. From here, pushing the hips back, just like we did from our standing mountain and standing forward fold. Same mechanics from a split stance. So it's a different stretch in the legs and a different foundation. Inhale in place. Exhale, now fold forward. Walking the hands down the shin, maybe to the floor. And as always here, rest the head, hang it like a rag doll. Try at least 3 to 5 really long, exaggerated exhales here. Inhaling into the nose, exhale from your throat. Stay with the breath. Find the inhale. Use the inhale to walk the hands up to the thigh, to the shin. At any point, finding a flat back. Reverse swan dive. Big breath in. Exhale, hands to the heart. Step forward. Let's find mountain pose to center the body before that sequence on the other side. Feet are at the width of the pelvis bone, shoulders over the hips. Palms are open, shoulders press down towards your hips. Crown of the head lengthening with the chin down just a little bit. Soften the knees and pull those kneecaps up. Imagine a yoga block between the thighs that you're squeezing and pull up the same muscles used to stop urination. Pull those muscles up. Inhale here. Most likely there's a lot of tension in the body here. That's what we want. It's a different type of tension. It's not the tension that comes with unhealthy stress. This is called dynamic tension. This is the brain connecting to the body with electrical impulses. You are alive with energy. Big inhale and exhale. One more, keep everything slightly dynamic. Inhale, reach with those fingers, pull the kneecaps up, and now exhale. Let's bring the hands together at the heart, soften the body. Sometimes we don't even know how hard the body's working until we relax, right? So let's come to standing. Feet are still at the width of the pelvis bones. This time we're stepping our right leg back, a casual stride, bending the left knee, establishing a strong warrior one foundation, keeping the shoulders in line with the hips. So we know the trunk of the body, the bones are stacked and neutral, one of the safest positions. Inhale, reaching straight up to the sky. Traditional warrior one, Virabhadrasana Eka. The Sanskrit really is so much more beautiful than the English translation. Virabhadrasana Eka, warrior one. Shifting forward, reaching up. On your next inhale, sweep those arms back and around. Let your body tell you if it wants to stack arms or if the fingers want to lace, pressing back. We have 3 big exaggerated inhales, creating an expansion with the back bend. Big breath into the center of the chest. Lift the ribs, and then exhale, let them drop. 2 more. One more. Release the hands, inhale straight up overhead. Exhale, swan dive, halfway down, hands to the thighs. The body has done this before, just a different foundation now. From here, keeping a soft bend in that front knee. Exhale, lower the belly, walk the hands down the leg, and then hang that head nice and loose. Check in with the low back, relax the jaw. Sighs of relief with every exhale. To safely come up, hands to the shins or thighs. At some point, safely flatten the back. Reverse swan dive, reaching up. Nice big breath in. Exhale, hands to the heart. Coming forward, let's step with our feet at about the width of the pelvis bones again. Inhale, bring the arms straight up overhead. Exhale, sweep those arms back. Push the hips back to find chair pose. Utkatasana. Inhale, sweep the hands back, just like a cross-country skier. You're pressing back with a flat back. Inhale, reach up, push into those legs. Exhale, sweep it back, push the hips back again, just like a cross-country skier. Inhale, take those hands back, strengthening the shoulders, the spine, the hips and knees. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, sweep it back and around, sit the hips back. Just one more time. Inhale, take the hands back, cross-country skier. Exhale. Inhale up, exhale, hands to the heart. From here, let's move into a little bit of standing balance today. We have dancer's pose, Natarajanasana. This is one of my absolute favorite poses to get a nice stretch in the front of the hip. It can also help to strengthen the glutes and the low back. There are a lot of different ways to do this pose. So first, we're going to try it on the chair. And the chair expression is so that we do the movement first without weight bearing. Usually when you do it from the chair first without weight bearing, moving into your bones, you'll have more mobility. And this is just a nice way to put a little bit of muscle memory into the hip. That way, when you do stand and we're weight bearing, there's going to be tension, but the body remembers how to stretch. So what I recommend is that you sit sideways on a chair or sideways somewhere and kind of lean over a little bit. And then you would lift your outer leg and try to hold on to your ankle. If you don't feel comfortable sitting in a chair this way, maybe you feel like you're going to tip over. I mean, it could be dangerous, right? So instead, if you want, hold on to your chair and put one knee on the chair and then come forward a little bit. And then maybe you reach back with a hand. Whoops, wrong hand. So coming forward, and then maybe you reach back and hold on to that toe. So this way you're still weight bearing a little bit, but you're not stepping onto the foot. The weight is coming up through the knee joint. When you're ready, let's take our time to switch sides. Let the foot go, let the thigh go, shake it out. Coming around to the other side. Let me get myself into the frame a little better. All right. So I have my right hand on my chair, and you just do the opposite if you're doing the other side. I'm putting my left knee on the chair so I can lean forward a little bit, lift that foot, and then reach back with the left hand. And you could even look back over your shoulder and then maybe reach for your ankle. If you have some nice big bootleg pants, you can just hold on to the pant leg. If you have a yoga strap, you can always experiment with a yoga strap. Sometimes I find getting the strap around the leg it's a workout, and it's harder than the pose itself. So just kind of experiment with what's right for you. When you're ready, push off that chair, shake it off. All right, so now let's take the hip through the range of motion in the pose from standing. So I'm going to use my left leg as my pillar of support, holding onto the chair with my left hand, lifting my right knee. I have my foot flat for now. This is to ensure that my kneecap doesn't wobble too much. I've had knee issues in the past, and I haven't had knee issues in a long time, and I want to keep it that way. So flex the foot to tone up that kneecap to keep it stable. Push or swing that leg back behind you, and then maybe point the toe. Once the hip is open, then point the toe. You can take your right arm or whatever hand is your outside hand, circle it back. Look back behind you. We already did a lot of trunk rotation today to practice this. And then maybe reach for the ankle or the foot. No matter where your body goes with this, just remember, as long as you're breathing, you're doing the yoga. It's the breath. Big inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more. Slowly exit the pose. Let's do the other side. Easy does it, no rush. Standing on our right foot, we lift the left knee, flat foot, swing it back, open the hip. And sometimes, I know for me, it just feels good to swing it open a few times. Press back. Then point the toe, circle that elbow back, look over your shoulder. Maybe just hold it here. Sometimes, reaching back creates a lot of strain in the pose, and that's definitely not what we want in a yoga practice. If you're straining, if you feel like this is being intrusive to your body, that is considered violent to the body. And the first rule of yoga is ahimsa. It's called ahimsa, which means non-violence, no violence with the body. So don't bully your body into a pose is what I like to think. One more big breath and then relax. Let that leg go. Shake out the legs. All right, let's bring ourselves down onto the floor, finding a pillow or maybe even a blanket to rest the hips on. I'm going to grab a nice chunky bolster. This is my favorite yoga prop, to tell you the truth. It gets such a nice big lift on the hips. And you can find these bolsters on a lot of different websites. You can find them on Amazon. They're everywhere. All right, so come into any easy seated position. We're not going to work so much with the legs right now as much we're going to work with shoulders and chest. From here, turn the palms up. And let's just circle the elbows back and around a few times. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Notice your neck and head is going to begin to move as a natural extension of that shoulder movement. Everything's connected, right? You'll know the old song, thigh bone connected to the hip bone, all that type of stuff. So we know that these shoulders and arms do connect to the head and neck. Let your neck move in any natural way. Maybe close your eyes and just kind of let the head and neck kind of teeter on top of the foundation. Let your head be kind of like a weeble. Y'all remember the weeble people? Let your head kind of weeble and wobble. Try to reverse that circle. Inhale, exhale. A few more. One more. From here, let's inhale, take both arms overhead, lace the fingers, invert the palms, and push up towards the sky. Lean over to the left. Push down into your right hip. Inhale, push a little more, open through those armpits. Maybe look over to the left. Come to center, lean over to the right. This is known as the palm gesture, like a palm tree. Press up, look over to the right, push your left hip down, keep pressing. Bring it to center. Relax your arms, move your shoulders a little bit. So we are moving into now what I consider to be one of the biggest shoulder and chest opening movements that I like to do in yoga. And I really took mindful, methodical steps today for us to move to this point. Since everything's connected, we have mindfully hinged and moved and manipulated the low back. We've also stabilized the low back. We've put the bones in different positions in your legs. And all of this is to make sure that we have this steady foundation in your lower back and spine. That way we can maybe have a little more mobility in your shoulders and chest. So we're moving into what's called cow's face arms. You're welcome to do the legs with it if you know you want to try it. In fact, I'm gonna lower my camera just a little bit so that you can see the legs with it. Whoops. Okay, so this works better. I'll just scoot back. All right, so I am coming off my amazing perch, sit down on the floor. If you want to do the legs, let's start by crossing the right leg over the left. So you might stay right ankle over the left, or you're gonna cross that right leg all the way over and you can open the hips. It's a pretty big hip stretch. It's a pretty intense stretch energetically. Let's open our left hand open, pull it back, reach up, and now pat yourself on the back. Take your right hand, sweep it behind you, and place the knuckles at your low back. As you inhale, pull the elbows in opposite directions. You're pressing that right shoulder down towards the hip and pulling the left shoulder up, opening up the ribs away from the waist, feeling the weight balanced on both your left and right hip. Remember cow pose while you're here. Try to push your hips back and then pull the arms, pull the chest and the ribs up. So you have cow's face pose and then you have cow pose. Two different poses, but definitely there are energies of cow pose in cow face. Hips go back, ribs lift, throat opens a little bit. Big inhale into the heart, big breath in. And now exhale, relax those ribs. Two more big inhales. Inhale, lift, pull those elbows. It's almost like a morning yawn type movement when you're gonna go, oh. One more big inhale. And now relax. All right, to safely switch sides, first make sure those arms are nice and loose. Slowly assist those legs if we're in that wound up leg or hip stretch. We're taking the left ankle over the right. That's foundation number one. Otherwise, You could cross over like this or open that left knee, stacking the knees, pulling the feet back towards the hips. Let's open our right hand. Sweep it back, reach up with the right arm and pat yourself on the back. Take the left hand forward, sweep that around, left knuckles to the low back, and then inhale, pull in a diagonal way from the left elbow to the right elbow, opening up this line of energy that moves diagonal through your body. Remembering cow pose here, hips go back, belly forward, exaggerating a lift of your heart when you inhale, big breath in, and then let that breath go. 2 more. Make that breath audible. Try to throw that exhale. 1 more, big inhale, and throw that exhale. Stay here for maybe 2 or 3 more breaths and try to just keep that breath nice and airy, maybe not too heavy. This is where it all began today, being a silent witness to the breath, watching the breath. To safely come out, relax any tension in your arms first. Easy does it with those shoulders, maybe even roll out the wrist or move your fingers. Take your sweet time and cross the legs. Let's take our time to roll over onto one side, and we are going to lie there for 3 to 5 breaths. You can lie down on the same side every time you do this class, if that's your side energetically, or every once in a while, try to switch sides. Breathe down into your low back, middle back, upper back, and shoulders. When you're ready, roll over onto your back, flattening through the low back and spine, maybe pushing away any props that are in your way. Clear the space around you. If you have a pillow handy, that's nice to have at this time. Let the body move in any natural way so that if there are any joints, any parts of the body that feel kind of stuck, you want to get them unstuck. So we have our mind-body practice in yoga, right? The poses are for your body, the stillness and the meditations for the mind. So we want to get the body out of the way first. Now at some point, maybe go ahead and relax your legs out. Open the palms of the hands, let them come down beside you, palms facing up. Keeping the head and the neck neutral in alignment with the rest of the spine. Let's find the breath low in the body again. And as we direct the breath to those lowest parts of the lungs, we may want to first go to that 3-part breath again. So you can breathe belly, ribs, heart, and then exhale, heart, ribs, belly. Inhaling 1, 2, 3. Exhaling 3, 2, 1. Now add in that pause at the top of the inhale. Inhaling 1, 2, 3. Pause. Pause for as long as it feels right for your body. So remember, you're not holding the breath against your will. You're definitely not holding it according to my will. You're just holding the breath to embrace and feel the fullness of it in your body. Let it go when it's time to let it go. Don't try to hold past any point of discomfort. Once you sense that discomfort in your body, it's time to let it go. So those holding patterns in yoga are called kumbhaka. It means to take pause, to embrace a moment of stillness. And you can embrace those pauses after you inhale and after you exhale. You can do it after you inhale or after you exhale. And it could create very different sensations. It has different and possibly very significant changes to the nerves in your brain, and only you can decide what is right for you. Thank goodness I'm not in there to see what's going on in that head, right? So just take your time to experiment with it. Take in a big breath. Just pause, inquire. Do we hold here? And if your body says no, let it go. And after that exhale, pause and inquire again. Do we hold it here? Or do we breathe? Maybe let the breath settle into just those lowest parts of the lungs now, keeping the heart still. Notice any parts of the body that tense up. Maybe breathe into those places so that you're able to reassure the body that relaxation is okay. It's okay to let go. This is the practice of aparigraha, the art of letting go, or the practice of letting go. As we are nearing the end of our practice together today, I invite you to rest here a little longer. Maybe cross your hands over your heart and tune into the energy that resides in the heart space. This energy is called Anahata. The translation of the heart's energy in yoga is, it's not translated to the word heart. Anahata means unstruck. It ultimately is a word that embodies the transcendent and infinite love that we come from, unstruck, unconditional. The color of this energy is green, bright emerald green. In the spirit of our practice, I close today with Namaste, which translates to, my soul greets your soul. I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful day. Please rest here a little longer if you can, especially on this rainy, dreary day. This is the perfect day to rest, to embrace stillness. It's a good day also to make a pan of brownies, I would say, or to bake a cake. And if you do, please call me, because I'll tell you where I live, okay? Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me today. Namaste.